Hello everyone. So I know no one's gonna watch this review, but this is the MacBook Air from Apple 2020 M1. I really wish I had another camera angle. Oh, I do. Anyways, now I can point this up to my face because I found my other tripod. So this is the MacBook Air from Apple. This is the 2020 MacBook Air, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD, and the 8-core CPU and 8-core GPU variant. So this will be my technically second Mac, but first Mac, because I have bought, just for a fun project, I bought a 2007 Mac Mini a while back, but that broke sometime last year. So yeah, I'm excited to rip into this thing and get started with using Mac. Now I gotta get all Thunderbolt and Type-C devices though, but that's okay. So first I'm just gonna kind of get into the box. The moment we've all been waiting for. I've been waiting for a month for. Come on. Oh. This is the beautiful MacBook. Alright, just gonna throw our plastic to the side. So it looks like it does come with a cable and a brick. Wow, something you don't see very often in 2021. Alright, so it even comes with the Space Gray model, or the Space Gray Edition Apple stickers, which is kind of cool. So I'm just gonna kind of throw this stuff aside here. I'm gonna take off the plastic of the brick and, of course, the cable over here. If it wants to come off, that is. Alright, I'll just kind of throw the box to the side for the moment. And I'm not going to plug it in just yet, but... Alright. You want to open? Alright, and take off the Mac chime, and it came automatically right on. So I'm excited to see how quickly that M1 chip is going to boot. Looks like probably, alright, that wasn't bad, probably 4, 5, 6 seconds. Alright, so I'm just going to continue with setup now, and after that, I'm going to do the review part. Alright guys, so it's been a while with the MacBook. It's been about 12 hours or so. I did it in the day where I unboxed it, and I still actually have the box over here. I just kind of put it on display. I'm kind of mad that there was some box damage though, but that's whatever. And if I open up the MacBook, here you can see we have it, and you can see my battery level is kind of getting low at this point. It's at 17%. I've had it off charge for roughly 10.5 hours or so. I've been doing heavy editing with Final Cut Pro and everything like that. I've been getting stuff installed and just doing a whole bunch of stuff. So lasted about 10.5 hours. It's at 17% now, and I gotta say, first impressions so far, really amazing. But you would kind of expect that in more of a premium, high-end quality laptop, especially something that's going to cost you a good $2,000. Going into this, you're gonna, obviously want it to be the premium experience you were looking for. Everything from the opening the lid to the closing the lid, like, it's just so smooth and just like premium. It's just perfect. It all works perfectly. The only thing that kind of sucks though, I do have a little problem with this, is when you try to open it, the rubber feet don't do very good, and you just try to open it and it just slides back. So you do have to be careful when you're opening it or when you're closing it, because it'll kind of come off a little bit. So you just have to be careful, and the hinge is a little bit wobbly actually, so like it's not as bad as the one MacBook was. I think it was the 16-inch MacBook Pro that had it, but it wobbles a little bit. I don't know. Usually MacBooks don't do that, but I still have no complaints with it. It still feels pretty premium, pretty smooth. So that is definitely not really a big downside. You can live with it. New things, new features, like it comes with macOS Big Sur and of course the M1 chip. It all just works so well together, and I can even run Windows 10 with, I think it's called Parallels Desktop? Yeah, that. And it runs perfectly with the M1 version, it's the Silicon version of it. And you can basically open it, Windows will start really quickly, and I just kind of use that for all the stuff that won't download, like Steam, for example. A couple games like Gary's Mod, BeamNG Drive aren't supported natively on Mac OS anymore, so, like for example, Gary's Mod was, but then after 10.15, Mac OS Catalina, it's unable to run 32-bit games. This game won't run. I tried switching everything to 64-bit, it just didn't work, but everything works fine on Windows, which is that parallel desktops thingy. And as much as I didn't think I would be a fan of like the opening it and then trying to close it and then it's still being open, having that just stored in the RAM and just making it so much quicker to open is actually so nice. And I've actually come to love this right click double tap. I was going to change it to right, but I was like, you know what, I kind of like it. And it's just so much easier because it's just, instead of going all the way over here, it's just easier to just boop, 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 like that. And everything has been insanely fast. Like I have 1,000 megabit per second internet, and if I go to YouTube, insanely fast. Now, of course, that was kind of pulling it from cache, but it still reloaded in a timely manner. And if I go to speed test, not support.apple.com. If I go to speed test, the speed is just as fast as it should be. I only get about 600 over Wi-Fi, unfortunately. I think it's a Wi-Fi. I think my router needs a little bit updated, but it gets around 600 or so. And if I go over to my Windows computer, it doesn't get much more. So yeah, look, that's actually faster than I've gotten even on my fast Samsung Wi-Fi chips. So that's pretty good. So about 632 or so on download and my 40 on upload, which it should be 40. But then if I go over here to my Windows desktop and I run speed test really quickly, and of course, you know, Windows has bugs and stuff like that. It's one thing why I really wanted to upgrade to Mac OS because, really Windows? Okay, anyway, if we just go to speed test, right here is speed test, and if I hit go, I am on the Ethernet, and we're going to get around 900 or so, except the ping was way more on this, and yeah, so it looks like we're getting around the same exact speed that we were getting over here, so that's not bad, considering this is the web version and this is the app version. The app version tends to get more. And, okay, yeah, around 800, whatever, it's wired, so that makes sense. But I feel like that Wi-Fi chip in that MacBook is compatible with a lot more. It's just my hardware limitations as far as router goes is my issue there. And, yeah. I really don't know what to say. It's just, it's exceeded my expectations. Now, like, for example, if I go and test the speakers, they amazed me. The first time I had it set up over here and I was getting everything set up, and I played a song, and while I was waiting for it to load, I was on my phone just scrolling through Instagram or something. I don't know who uses Instagram anymore, but I huddled down because I thought the plane was real and I thought it actually crashed. It was just the speakers. The surround sound was so good, it amazed me. It was 8D on a whole different level. But if we test how loud the speakers are and how good they sound, of course, this is my iPhone 12 Pro Max mic picking this up, but I'm just going to do a little test. So yeah, really loud, really good. The only thing that I do have a complaint about as hardware goes for the MacBook is the double click. Because you can't tap, you can't just tap and expect it to work. You have to click, you have to press until it clicks. And then it is a really soft click. I do like that part, but the part that I don't like is, like, especially when I'm trying to go through music, you sort of have to use the second, it's a force to tap thingy. So you go light, and there's the first click, you go harder, there's the second click. And you kind of have to use that second click to get anywhere, and you kind of have to press a little bit hard for that. But I also get why they did that, because you don't want to accidentally be pressing that all the time when it does different things. For example, if I open something in my Finder, and see like this Office thingy, if I double click the first tap, it'll bring up the stuff in it, and if I double click on the second tap, it will bring up the contents, how many items are in it, and the size of the folder, and when it was last modified, including the name along with an icon. So, you know, one thing that I really do like is having this AirDrop. Like, this is the part that I waited for the most. No more drive transfers and loading stuff and loading crap on OneDrive and trying to wait 3 hours for it to upload then download, and especially because Comcast upload speeds aren't the greatest, and they're already 40 megabits as it is, so I can only imagine what other people will have to go through. But having that AirDrop is really nice and convenient. Even, it's just the little things with Apple, like, for example, like, there's even, like, if you're not typing anywhere, like, there's, like, an air sound, sort of, and, like, the Mac startup chime, and, like, the fact that I could just copy something on here and paste on my iPhone 8, and it would just work perfectly. It would paste from what was copied here. Like, it's the little things that Apple has that make people really come to love Apple. And there's some things that did concern me, like having the pictures and music or movies folder, all that stuff didn't actually come on the sidebar. I had to go up to Finder, go to Preferences, and then I had to go to Sidebar and actually select the stuff. And I also recommend selecting hard disks as well, because you'll have the in general, hard disks, you'll have the hard disk icon on your screen, and you'll have applications from here, and you'll have, like, you know, your other stuff. So I would recommend putting that on your screen there. But anyways, I know no one is going to watch this, but thank you guys for joining. I will kind of show part of a clip that I worked on in Final Cut Pro, which I know it's not anything good, but I just wanted to have fun with it, and see what this Mac could really do. And this Mac really does export files extremely quickly, which I was super happy about. But this is a little edit I made earlier. It's, like I said, I took no time on it. I just wanted to make something so I could edit. Alright, so that was just a little thing I did earlier. I definitely want to make that better and possibly get an Osmo for my phone. But after that, I got to spend but before I do that, I got to spend $100 on dongles and then $200 on Apple Care. So, you know, that's a long time coming, but I will definitely make videos about that. I'm really excited to do that. I want to have something, because I'm really shaky, as you can tell, and I always have to move or talk with my hands or something. So I want something that's smooth, where I can just kind of program it to turn, and my stuff will look amazing. And now I have the right hardware for it. I have the right software for it. I have the right device for it. I just need the right camera hardware for it, as in, like, recording equipment, like tripods and stuff. And my tripod mount isn't very great for phones. Kind of just falls off. So yeah, other than that, I do like the display on here. I've had no issues with it, and I do like the brightness and how bright it goes. And I definitely like, this will be helpful for online school, especially when it's like early in the morning and you can kind of turn it down, not completely all the way, but you can kind of get it really low there, and I'm going to really appreciate that on my eyes in the mornings, instead of my school loans crap that they give us, 720p HP ProBook screens. But I also like that you can completely black the display. This will definitely be helpful, like if you're ever like in a class or something like that and it's just really boring, you can just turn your sound on and the display off. Then you can just kind of brighten this up there. And I like that you can adjust the keyboard brightness on a meter instead of just 1, 2, 3 levels. So it's, like I said, it's the little things that I really like. And especially, this is one of my favorites, it doesn't dig into your hand. The keyboard's really comfortable and it doesn't dig into your hand. This is because it's thick at the top and goes thin towards the bottom. And I like having this big freaking touchpad, because you have like an entire like 4 to 5 inches of room here, and you can be all over doing crazy things, like all over the place. And having that high resolution display definitely helps. And yeah, I know I'm saying "and" a lot, but I've managed to fill up the SSD sort of quickly, and this SSD actually has faster speeds than my 970 EVO Plus that's in there, the M.2, if you can kind of see it right there. If I open my AJ systems tester, you can actually see it's quite faster than that, actually, by a lot, by like 400 to 500 megabytes per second. So like if I run a 4 gigabyte 5K test file, for example, 2.6 gigabytes a second on read and 2.1 gigabytes a second on write. And I found out that in Epic Games Launcher, it was downloading Fortnite at a straight steady 418 megabytes a second, which obviously my internet can't go that high, but the SSD could go that high steady, and the 970 Plus EVA Plus can only do like 200, so big upgrade, and I definitely recommend getting more storage, at least 512, if you can afford it in the MacBook, because it's non-upgradable. And I don't even think you really need 16 gigabytes of RAM, but if you're like me and you do a lot of productivity and you have a lot of stuff open at once, then yeah. But think of it like this: 8 gigabytes of unified Mac RAM works as 16 gigabytes of PC RAM, and 16 gigabytes of PC RAM works, or 16 gigabytes of unified Mac RAM works as 32 gigabytes of PC RAM. Now, I don't know, they kind of say that, but I've been seeing mine go up to 11, 12 gigabytes used, but I'm also running really, I'm using it really quickly and doing a whole bunch of stuff at one time, so in my case, that's definitely the more helpful option. But if I go to my activity monitor, you can even see I'm pretty much idle right now, and the memory being used is 7.01 gigabytes, which is already almost 8, and that would be lowered and slower if you had the 8. So definitely 16 helps, but really, if you don't really need it, and it is an extra $200, but it's worth it if you can afford it. So anyways, guys, thank you very much for joining this video. I'm so excited to edit with this Mac and just do everything with this Mac. I'm just so excited. So thank you guys for joining this video, and I'm actually going to edit on this Mac, so I'm not going to shut it. But see you in the next one. Peace.